Today I'm going to look for some stuff for my studio DJ recording setup. I have the turntables now, I have instruments, everything's just kind of like in my apartment, so I wanted to create a nice little area for everything. Main thing I'm looking for is a table to put the turntables and everything on, and then I also need a plug for the mixer. So I have the mixer right here. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to find something good, but I might have to look on Craigslist or something. I just went to Goodwill, no luck. So we will see what I find. I decided instead of going to try to hunt down like a mediocre table for everything, I could just make one. So I'm going to this Scrapyard. That's where I got the wood for the Throwboy signs that I've made. This is an old brewery that's been taken over by this Scrapyard place. It's pretty awesome. You'll have to see the inside. Well, I'm hunting all around. I haven't quite found anything yet. This place is crazy, right? There's so much to sift through. But it gets your mind going. It gets you thinking about what you can make with all this kind of stuff. It's all like taken from places that have been demolished and stuff. So it's just all kinds of crazy stuff from all over St. Louis and I think outside cities too. Crazy. Didn't find anything this time. It's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes you luck out, find exactly what you wanted or something better, and sometimes you don't. What I'm looking for, I think, is like an odd shape. Because I found a piece of wood and then it was a shelf to a cabinet, so they weren't going to let me just take the shelf out. But it's okay. I think I'm just going to make do with what I have now and use a table that I already have. I'll figure out a setup. Well, I'm back home, and I didn't mention, but I actually ended up buying a new mixer. Because my other mixer, I guess, is probably broken. I'm not sure. It would have been more of a hassle to like try to track down a proper power supply. So they didn't have what I needed at the store. So treat yourself. Look at this. Boom. Oh my god. I'm so excited to play with this. I haven't had a DJ mixer in a while. The one that I have right now is my brother's. That's the same model I used to have. That's what I learned on. And so I've never ever bought a different kind. So out of necessity, I was like, well, I should just buy one. And they're much cheaper now because apparently I'm old school now because I'm using like analog gear. I was like, do you have anything like this? Like, I don't want anything electronic. I just want something real basic and, you know, for DJing with 2 channels. And they're like, oh yeah, we have something. It's like $89. I'm like, pfft. I remember when I used to buy gear, it was so much more expensive. It was like, this would cost like $200 for sure. So with that, I'm going to unbox. Oh my god, it's so pretty. This is awesome. Oh my god, the faders are so nice. I'm used to using like such a janky mixer. Oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to go back. This is what it's on the back. This is what it looks like. Mine didn't even have EQ. Wow, this is so cool. I'm so happy, I'm so pleased. And here's one of my turntables. A little history about my DJ experience. When I was about 19, 20, I got really into collecting records and turntables, and that's kind of where I started. My brother bought turntables first, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, I want to do that too. My little brother. And then and so I bought the same ones. We both got inspired when we watched this movie, this documentary called Scratch. If you haven't seen that movie and you like documentaries or you're interested in DJing, watch this movie called Scratch. It's like from 2004. Very, very interesting, and that's what got us into this whole culture of DJing and record collecting. Before that, we actually, it worked out really well because Daniel and I, my brother, used to collect records, and we just collected records just to listen to. So we had huge record collections. So then by the time that we actually started to get into the DJ side of things, like with sampling and scratching and all that, we already had a lot of records. And then we ended up just getting more from like garage sales and from like eBay and all over the place. Anyone that had records, we were like, oh yeah, we'll take your records off your hands. My fascination with wanting to DJ and like learn about this stuff goes back even further to when I was in like junior high. I used to scrounge and find turntables and stuff, and like they weren't the right kind of turntables, so I would try to like figure out how to use them for DJing. One memory that comes to mind is when I was like in 8th grade, I think. The only thing I asked for my birthday, I think, was a mixer, like a DJ mixer. And back then they were hard to find. Like you could probably find like a mixer that kind of was like this at like Radio Shack. But they were expensive, so I didn't get it that year, but it was probably better because I wouldn't have known what to do with it back then. So anyway, I'm excited. This is going to be really cool to play around with, and I'm going to set this up, and I need to get speakers, and I need to get like some other stuff, but I'm just going to do like a little makeshift setup right here just to play around. Another thing I got are these cool Slipmats. I've always wanted these. So a Slipmat is for your turntable if you DJ, if you scratch, or if you do like mixing or anything like that. So it's designed so that the record can like slide underneath your hand really easily. So I never actually had real store-bought Slipmats. My brother and I used to make them with wax paper and with cloth. So I've made them like with wax paper and like a t-shirt and stuff. We've heard of these for a long time, but back when we used to DJ, they were impossible to find locally. These are called butter rugs. So these are made by this very famous DJ's crew, Qbert. And so you can see djqbert.com. We've always wanted these, my brother and I. And now they sell them at like Guitar Center and stuff. So the whole thing is that one side of it is felt and one side of it is this slippery like, I don't know, probably like polyurethane or something like that. So they slip really easily with the record on there. See how the record platter is still going, but the record stopped? So you can like really manipulate the record without it having to move the whole thing, because you don't want it to like move the whole platter. You want the platter to be flowing underneath your hand. I don't know, it's funny, like I've always wanted one of these, and now I'm like, oh my god, I should just buy them. What? They're like $10. So anyway, inside baseball, inside turntabling, but I'm really excited. So here's the little setup I just made with a little Bluetooth speaker, because I don't have anything else right now. God, does anyone have speakers anymore? I don't. That's temporary. I'm going to replace that. Records on. I think everything's connected properly. Let's give it a shot.
Now look what I've got to come home.
Hey, it is later in the day and I finished my little setup here. I just wanted something like really simple, you know, one turntable, mixer, and just instruments to use. This is actually my sewing machine, but I don't know if I'm going to use it for that long. It does have a good height though, like the height feels really comfortable. But the sewing machine, like back in the day, they made sewing machines that were like furniture. So the sewing machine flips into here. I've been using this MPC app, which is a drum machine sampler app. And it's pretty neat, but I'm not sure. I think I'm going to probably just outgrow it and then get a real physical drum machine. And here's the setup. Yeah, so like this is just like a drum beat. Ever since I was a teenager, I've always liked to have a studio with, you know, all sorts of instruments. I used to have a garage full of just like drums and like an organ and keyboards and turntables, and just in the event that I wanted to use them or if someone wanted to come over and jam with me. So I really like having this. I'm gonna experiment. It's kind of like my hobby, so it's really fun to actually have this stuff at my disposal finally. But this is fun, so I'm happy that I got something going finally. That's gonna do it for today's vlog. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I am going to try to remember if I know how to scratch.